Hi, in this video we're going to talk about validating your HTML5 code. Validating your code is a way to check to see that the code is written correctly. With Dreamweaver 5.5, you can validate your code right in Dreamweaver by going up and clicking on the W3C validation. The first thing you want to do is click on Settings and make sure that you have HTML5 selected. Notice that it still says Experimental. This will likely change over time with version 6 and beyond. Click OK. And now you can go up and click Validate Current Document. It's going to make sure that you're okay sending your information out to the validation service. Click OK. And then here you'll see that it says no errors or warnings found. So that's one way to do it. It's always good practice to go to the website itself, because then you can actually get a URL that will recheck your document as you work on it over time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Google and we're going to Google validate HTML5. See, you see it right away. HTML5 Validator. You'll notice it comes up first. You can always try to just remember it's validator.w3.org. So once you've uploaded your assignment, and to use this you have to have uploaded it to that Tech2 server, you can highlight and copy the URL and you simply paste it in here. You'll notice you can click more options and see some other things, but right now we're just going to hit check. So the good news, and the green bar always tells you that it was successfully checked. It does give us a warning. The warning is basically a similar warning that Dreamweaver was giving us, and that's simply that HTML5 and the validation service for HTML5 is still experimental. That's likely to change over time. Once you've successfully validated the code on your site, the next step is to add a badge, an icon, that basically tells users that your code has been successfully checked. So in this case, because HTML5 is experimental, the validator does not give you actually a badge and icon. But in this case, and we'll provide this link in the course, but in this case, someone's already gone through the trouble to create the new badges, the icons for it. And so you'll notice for HTML5 that there's a gold and a blue option here. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do a save image as. I'm using Firefox. Your browser, you might have different options. I'm going to go to my desktop. I have a shortcut to my folder. Double click in my images folder and I'm going to save it. And close that. So now that I'm in Dreamweaver, I'm going to go to Insert, Image. I'm going to go into my folder, 502, into my images folder, and there I can see the image. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to prompt me to put in some alternate text. This is for screen readers and accessibility, which we will learn more about in more detail later in the course, but it's important to always put in some alternate text for any images. So I'm going to type HTML5 validation badge, click OK. Now this badge tells anyone who looks at my web page that the code is written correctly. However, the best thing about badges is that you can add a link, so when the user clicks on it, it rechecks the site. So we're going to go back to our page and we're going to copy this URL. We're going to go back to Dreamweaver. We're going to click on this image. We're going to paste the code in there. You'll notice that it added a border around the image that tells us that now it's a hyperlink. So if we click on it, we're going to change target to blank. And that basically means that when the user clicks on it, it's going to open to a new page. And later we'll learn more about how you can use CSS to get rid of the border around the image, as well as how you can add some space and do a few other things. But in this case, we are going to open our Files panel. I'm going to drag it over. And it basically says, do you wish to save it before putting it here? Because I failed to save it, I'm going to say yes. It's going to prompt me, do I want to put dependent files? I'm going to say yes, because I want that image to be uploaded. So now when I go back to my page and hit refresh, on the Tech2 server, I can see here's the button that I just added. And if I click on it, I can see that it tells me that my code is still successfully checked validation. So just like that, we learned how to validate our code both within Dreamweaver as well as by using the W3C markup validation service, and then how to add a badge that lets your users know that your code is written correctly. In a future video, we'll learn how to validate your CSS as well. Thanks.